Hey guys! Today I will be setting up my new watercolor palette and I guess briefly showing you my current watercolor collection. These are the watercolor sets I already had. Two small boxes are from Winsor & Newton travel sets, which I used the most and showed many times in my previous videos. They are my favorite, mostly because of their size and price. And this is a big set of Winsor & Newton. It has 24 full pans and also Quatman series. I don't use this set a lot because of the size. And the last set is Kuretake Gansai Tambi. I got them about 3 years ago when I was looking for affordable yet good quality watercolors. They are very nice and pigmented, but for some reason they remind me on gouache. They are not as transparent as I would like them to be, I guess. I barely use them for the same reason as the previous set. The box is pretty huge and I usually just reach out for the smallest box. But if you don't have such problem, I really recommend it. Now, this is the watercolor set I got for my birthday as a gift. This is HOLBEIN watercolors. This brand provides only professional quality paints and I've been addicted to them for about a year now or more. And since there are 60 colors, I looked up palette online that can fit so much and found pretty much the only one available. The brand is Color Around and has 65 wells. Despite lack of choice and obviously huge size, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not planning to use it outside of the house anyway, but it seems like it also has this hole for holding it. I can't imagine why I would want to do that, but okay. There's also plenty space for mixing and even compartment for storing a couple of brushes. The other thing why I really like metal palette compared to the plastic ones is that the last one stains after a while. Just a nice touch to me that it's metal, it will stain less than plastic one. Now let's look at watercolor. As I said previously, they are professional quality watercolors. I chose a set of 60 5ml tubes, but they have different kinds of sets, smaller quantities, and also a complete set of all available colors by this brand, which is 108. I felt very tempted to get it, but that also meant that I will need a bigger palette or even two. That's a good option if you're really into these paints and want to complete your collection no matter what. No matter if you will ever need it. And while you're watching me fill this palette with paint, I'll tell you an interesting fact I've learned just recently from the video of one of my favorite artists. Okay, I have no idea how to pronounce his name. Mateusz? He's an artist who lives in Japan and he's very, very good. I will leave all the links to his channel in the description so you can check him out. So he made a great video about recreating Hayao Miyazaki watercolor set. And I found out that Miyazaki himself used HOLBEIN watercolors, which is absolutely fascinating to me. Not that I thought that big artists use some, different supplies. Honestly, I've never even asked myself what do they use. Like, it was something so unreachable in my mind. I haven't even questioned what kind of supplies do they have. Like, if somebody will tell me that they make their own watercolor and paper, I would totally believe it. I'm like, yeah, sure, that sounds about right. And yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. And what is even cooler, that they sell HOLBEIN watercolor set at their studio museum. And I'm totally going to get one for myself when I'll be able to visit it one day, maybe. Even if I have the same set, I just want it from the museum. I will never even touch it, okay? It's just gonna rest on my shelf and I will just look at it and admire. In his video, Mateusz shows what exactly colors are in the set, so you can recreate it yourself. Okay, I will just leave a link in the description. Please go and watch it. It's very, very good, and maybe you will also learn something new for yourself. As you see, I don't organize my colors precisely because I honestly don't care. Once I'll set them up and start drawing, after a while I just know where all the colors placed. Oh, and the name of them doesn't really matter to me. The only time I have heard people actually telling exact name of the paint, they were either teachers or there was some specific tutorials that was telling you to use exact colors like Bob Ross style. But also it's not that important to know and have all the colors, because majority of time I don't even use pure colors from tubes. It's always like mix of 2 or 3 different ones. Definitely it's nice to have lots of pretty colors, but not necessary at all. I've been asked a couple times what's the difference between watercolor in tubes and regular pen watercolors. And basically there's no difference, or maybe I just don't know about it. Except in tubes, paint is wet. So what I'm usually doing is squeezing paint from a tube into a pan and let it dry overnight. After that, it's the same as a dry paint that goes in sets. Some people like to keep it in tubes though and squeeze tiny amount of paint every time for each drawing, but I'm not like that. Funny thing, when I was younger, I didn't really understand why do I need colors like ochre in palette. I thought that colors should be very clean and, pretty, and after using the palette I would always go and wash it right away so it will look just like new. And ochre wasn't something appealing to me. I always took it out of the palette or replace it with something else. But right now I value these deep and complicated colors more than any other like primary colors. They seem more natural and I guess real to me. I feel very inspired seeing these colors around me in daily life. I'm very excited, by the way, how many different shades of green in this set, and I will definitely try to implement them in my future work. So expect lots of plants and more plants and a tiny bit more plants. Oh, another thing I'd like to say is that you shouldn't feel obligated to use each and every color in the palette. Eventually, when you will get an idea of how you like to draw, you'll realize that your own choice of color is a huge part of your style. I usually say that you should work on your colors and explore different combinations, so you could find your voice in art also through color. And sometimes you can look at somebody else's work and say, oh, these colors are so you. Like, for example, right now I'm looking at my work and my work has lots of green, lots of earth tones and lots of purple. Funny thing, I was printing my prints and 2 times I ran out of ink and that was magenta, so it says probably a lot about my work. I didn't want to just show you setting up palette, but also actually play with it for a bit. As I told in my previous video, I've sketched Ana from Overwatch and it was perfect opportunity to color it finally. If you're not familiar with Ana Amari, she's a character from the game Overwatch. What really attracts me about her is that she's not your typical young, hot video game character. She's an older lady who is also from Middle East, Egypt if I'm not wrong. And I was anxious to try paint darker skin with my new watercolors. It's a bit trickier to make darker colors lay very flat without any weird bleeding and spots, so it was a nice practice. One day I'll definitely make a video on painting different shades of skin. I think HOLBEIN watercolors are actually perfect for that, since I never could achieve the right effect with Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolors. But after looking how this picture turned out, I'm very happy with the result, and I will try to be more adventurous and draw more people with darker skin. I also specifically didn't want to cut lots of footage with me shading face and all the wrinkles. It is very important to study pictures of people different age if you draw in somebody, not the same age all the time. As we all know, with aging, our face and skin changes, and it doesn't mean it becomes less beautiful, but removing these features will lead to completely unrealistic results. Before starting to draw Anna, I looked up references and found so many pictures of her basically drawn as a very young, pretty woman, but with just gray hair, which is, I guess, okay, but not if your character is supposed to be 60 years old. Also, since she's a woman from Middle East, we shouldn't forget that different races have different face features. Like for her, it was like big eyes with thick dark eyelashes, more arched nose, and thick beautiful eyebrows. And saying that, I just realized that I've been drawing my every character with thick eyebrows, but don't mind that, okay? Of course, everyone is different, and these features vary from one race to another. I just named some common things that first came to my mind. You need to account for that too when you're drawing women from Egypt, for example, not just regular Caucasian character or Asian as Diva, for example. And I hope I did justice to her beauty. If not, that only means I need to draw her again in future, and I'm good with that. That would be exciting, actually. I really like her character. As with previous picture, I decided not to make any harsh outline of the face and actually use two types of ink. Brown for face and eyes, and purple for her hair. Although now I regret adding that much purple to her hair, even if it's my go-to color for cool shadows. Now I wish I used more dark gray for outlining. It doesn't look bad, just making mental note for myself for future drawings. Yeah, making drawing time lapses is very helpful if you like to analyze your process like me. I do that a lot, and hopefully I will learn on my own mistakes. I've added all highlights with white ink, and this is about it. If you liked this drawing, I have prints available at my Etsy store right now. Check out the description for link, and maybe I'll even put the original for sale. Not sure yet. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye!